Medical disorders in pregnancy. They are among the most common stations in MRCOG Part 3. Candidates often know the condition but still fail because they present the information in a disorganized way. Hi everyone, I am Dr. Sana Ansari. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to show you two templates. One is on obesity in pregnancy and second is Graves' disease. And by the end of this video, you will have a framework that can be used for diabetes, epilepsy, cardiac disease, SLE, renal disease and many other stations. Now whenever you see a medical disorder in pregnancy station, think of the maternal effects, what harm the disease can do to the mother, fetal effects, what harm can it do to the baby, antenatal care, what needs to be done during pregnancy, intrapartum care, how will labor and delivery be managed, and the postpartum care, what happens after delivery. If you answer in this sequence, the examiner can easily follow your thought process. Now coming to the obesity template. So the station is about a 32-year-old woman with BMI 42 who attends a booking clinic. The first thing I would discuss is effects of obesity on baby and mother. Now, effect on baby is there is increased risk of fetal growth restriction, macrosomia, undiagnosed fetal anomalies because ultrasound assessment becomes more difficult in obese patients. Always mention that obesity can reduce the sensitivity of anomaly scanning. Effect of obesity on mother. Mother is at increased risk of gestational diabetes, hypertensive disorder of pregnancy, preeclampsia, sleep apnea, failure to progress in labor, difficulty in fetal monitoring, inadequate analgesia, emergency cesareans, anesthesia complications, wound infections, venous thromboembolism, and postnatal depression. So, this covers pregnancy, labor, and postpartum complications. Now, discussing about the antenatal care. This is where most marks are available. I would say this patient requires consultant-led antenatal care with multidisciplinary team, including obstetrician, anesthetist, midwife, physician when needed. In the supplements, she needs folic acid 5 milligrams until 12 weeks, vitamin D 10 micrograms daily. She should be screened for gestational diabetes, a detailed anomaly scan. There should be a risk assessment for weight loss before pregnancy, reducing the risk of stillbirth, and a risk assessment in third trimester. Document her height, weight at the time of booking, calculate her BMI. If not mentioned, start Ecosprin 150 milligrams for 12 weeks if indicated. For the growth surveillance, serial growth scan monitoring from 24 weeks where indicated. In the intrapartum care, say delivery should occur in a consultant-led unit. There should be an anesthetic review, anticipate difficulty with regional anesthesia, plan analgesia early, and continuous fetal monitoring. If required, we'll prepare you for operative delivery. We'll do active management of third stage of labor. In the postpartum care, don't forget breastfeeding support, venous thromboembolism prophylaxis, weight management support, and referral to weight management services, contraception counseling, and mental health assessment. All these points and no jargons to be used. Make a template and learn it thoroughly. Now, coming to the Graves' disease template, let's apply the exact same framework. Different disease, but same answer structure. Effect of Graves' disease on baby. Risks include miscarriage, fetal growth restriction, low birth weight babies, fetal thyroid dysfunction, aplasia cutis, which is associated with carbimazole exposure, neonatal thyrotoxicosis. Now, the effect of Graves' disease on mother. The risks include hypertension, preeclampsia, thyroid storm, aggravation of disease, liver dysfunction, and cardiac complications. Now, the next is about the antenatal care. Again, consultant-led unit with multidisciplinary team including obstetrician, endocrinologist, midwife, neonatologist. Don't forget the medication. This is one of the high yield point. Explain. In the first trimester, propylthiouracil is generally preferred due to concerns regarding carbimazole embryopathy. After first trimester, many women are switched to carbimazole because propylthiouracil carries a risk of hepatotoxicity. Candidates frequently miss this point. Now, about the monitoring, we regularly do your thyroid function test. Medications will be adjusted. Booking blood test will be done. A detailed anomaly scan, preeclampsia screening. Remember, thyroid disease increases the risk of preeclampsia, so you'll have to screen for it. In the fetal surveillance, serial growth scans and assessment for fetal thyroid disease when indicated. This was about the antenatal care. Intrapartum care will aim for a well controlled thyroid function before labor, will avoid the risk of thyroid storm, and you will be delivered in a consultant led unit. We'll do a continuous fetal monitoring. In the postpartum care, important points include repeat thyroid function testing, endocrinology follow up, neonatal review, breastfeeding, contraception, and pre pregnancy counseling for future pregnancies. This was about the Graves' disease template. So, what should a master template be like? Whenever you see any medical disorder of pregnancy, like diabetes, epilepsy, cardiac disease, SLE, renal disease, obesity, thyroid disease, use the same sequence. Effect of disease on mother, effect of disease on baby, then antenatal care, intrapartum, postpartum care, multidisciplinary team involvement. Never forget it, you will miss communication with colleague. This simple structure prevents you from missing marks. If you memorize a framework and then plug the disease specific details into that framework, you can confidently approach almost any medical disorder in pregnancy station. That's exactly what examiners expect from you. Comment below which medical disorder in pregnancy you struggle with most, and I'll make the next MRCOG Part 3 template video on that topic. Good luck, see you in the next video.